Scottish girl is here! My grandfather Scotty from Scotland always has got something very, very interesting to tell me all the time. My grandfather has got an addiction. I'm a little bit embarrassed to tell you what my grandfather is addicted to. I don't know what it is, but I think that my grandfather, he's addicted to chopping trees down, I don't know why that's the case. Why does my grandfather chop trees down all the time? I don't know, no. But if anybody has ever visited Scotland, you would find grass. You would find bushes. You would find flowers. Aye, but you would not find a single tree in sight. That's because my grandfather has chopped all the trees down in Scotland. I don't know how all of this started. It must have been when he was a little boy, you know? He must have been in that age where everybody gets really imprinted. I think what happened, right, is his mother left him underneath a tree really long ago when he was just a little baby. And my grandfather didn't mind taking a nap underneath a tree. But what happened, right, is there was a woodpecker that lived above him while he was napping under the tree. And the woodpecker jumped out of the tree and started pecking at my grandfather's head. My grandfather was really traumatized. He didn't understand why the woodpecker had to keep pecking on his head. And then he told the woodpecker, I don't understand. Why is it you got to be pecking on my head all the time like that? And the woodpecker said, Hey, you've invaded my home. You've invaded my tree. I can do whatever it is I want. My grandfather, he really did like that woodpecker. Because what happened, right, is the woodpecker was a little sly woodpecker. And then the woodpecker bit my grandfather's nose off. It really hurt my grandfather to have his nose bitten off. In fact, he had to go to the doctor and get a little bit of surgery. But up to this day, my grandfather always has a very, very quiet nose because of the woodpecker pecking. So what my grandfather wants to do, right? He really wanted to get rid of the woodpecker. But my grandfather also wanted to go to heaven. So he knew if he killed the woodpecker, he might not get into heaven. So my grandfather had a really good idea. He decided to chop the tree down, because if there's no tree, then there will be no woodpecker. So my grandfather took this big axe and he started chopping the tree down. The woodpecker was really angry at my grandfather, and it packed up its little suitcase and flew out of the nest and decided to migrate to another country. I believe it migrated somewhere to Ireland. But that's another story. Anyway, my grandfather thought he was really good and heroic because he chopped down this tree, right? And now there are no more woodpeckers around. So every time my grandfather sees a tree that's becoming too big, he takes his big axe and he starts chopping it down. In this way, he never has to ever matter to me. So I think my grandfather's really, really happy. There are no trees down, and he always chops them down every time he finds one. So in case you ever wondered why is it that Scotland doesn't have any trees, now you know, right? It's my grandfather Scotty that always chops it, chops it, chops it, chops it down.